Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing this. We've been talking a little bit, and it's like, I want to ask you guys how you met, but because you've been telling me, oh, the mission and this and that and languages, but all right, now we're going to get to it, though. I guess I would normally ask you how you met, but I need to ask you how and where you met, because that's important.
So you say the how and I say the where? There are two questions there.
So
how
how we
and
met?
where. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will say the how.
So I start with where.
Yeah.
So we were in Switzerland.
Switzerland.
We went. We didn't know each other. Each of our families went to Zollikofen, to the temple, and we were actually going to our missions, and we were going to receive our endowment. So in normally when you go to the temple in Swiss, you stay there for a week. There's like a ostello, and so people, because they travel from far away, they stay there like for a week, and so that's
to take advantage of
of the
there.
trip. They can sleep there, and so we met the first day when we arrived.
And how?
How?
Yeah.
That's you.
But what you have to know is, like, I'm from France, and she's from Italy, so that was really already something different. So we didn't speak the same language. But how? I remember the first time I saw Natalia, we were in this hotel, and there was like 4 floor. And my parents, so there's a sort of a cafeteria, an area where all the people prepare food and they eat all together, and so
like a common kitchen.
A common kitchen. And my family were ready to eat, and so they asked me to go and pick up someone at the top floor. So I went through the stairway, and I went up and I asked the person to come because we were ready. And as we were going down the stairs, I wanted to show the guy that was with me the floor where we were. So I opened the door there, and right behind that door there was Natalia.
I was just walking with the luggages, and we were going to our room.
I think you were just arriving from your trip, and so I opened it and I saw Natalia, and she was like really in front of the door because they are a numerous family, so they were like stuck in the hallway of getting into their room, and she was like next to the door. And when I opened, I was like, wow. I was surprised. I saw this hair, like she has curly hair, like really big. Yeah. I was like, wow. And I just closed it without saying nothing.
He sounded really, one of those kids embarrassed and kind of running in the stairs. You're like, why is this kid is running in the stairs? And he seemed old enough not to be running in the stairs. So he just opened and said hi and shut the door. And we're like, okay.
And me behind, I was like, hey, we are at this floor. Look at this. I was like,
so
wow.
Anyway,
what
that
did
was
I
the
saw?
first time that we saw each other.
And she was actually really nice. She said hello, and but I closed the door without saying anything. And so after we went and eat, but that was how we met the first time.
Yeah.
So why were you guys there in the first place, aside from like getting your endowments in the temple?
Yes. So we, before going on a mission, before serving a mission, we go through the temple, and the temple is not a church. It's a special place where you go to receive sort of instructions, and so that's called endowment. And so we receive it the same day even, but we're not together in the same sessions. So
was this the missionary training center?
No.
It was just the hotel you guys were staying at.
Exactly.
The missionary training center was in Provo.
Oh, that's okay.
So
so each missionary goes to the missionary training center, right? And there's like multiple training centers in the world, but we were sent to the same one, Evan. So that's what made it.
That was the second time that we met.
Yeah.
Like as a coincidence.
So you guys got your endowments in this temple in Switzerland, and then you both went to Provo?
I went first. Was July, and he went after. Actually, he had some problems with the mission papers, and so you went there in August.
End of August, yeah.
End of August. And I actually, because when you're a foreigner in the missionary center, you are, sometimes they ask you to help other new missionaries. It was like that. It was 2001. We were 21. And so one day I knew there were new missionaries from Italy arriving. And so somebody asked me to go and check on them to see if they were fine. And so I went to the main office, and when I see my friends, I knew them, so they were my friends. And then I see Alma Pierre. I'm like, oh, you're here. Oh, you're here. I know you. I know you.
The guy that ran in the stairways. No, but you have to know that we already stayed like a week together at the temple that week where we got the endowment. So we kind of... It's not that we knew each other, but we were like around.
Yeah, but I thought you were good for my sister.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like we were around. My family, like I think it was pretty particular because she has 7 siblings. Okay. So it's a big family. Like it's noticeable, right?
We're loud Italians, loud and.
My family is we are 5, so I have 4 sisters. And we thought it was a big family, but when we saw the family of Natalia, like it was pretty impressive for us. We saw them; they were having fun. They were like really. You wanted to be with them, but it's true that there was. It's not that there was like a particular interest.
I didn't speak English, and so that was a first thing for me. I was not even trying. I was not happy to go to serve the Temple Square because of the English part, and I was mad actually. And when he was speaking English, I was like, oh, I don't speak English, sorry, no, I don't. And so I don't remember speaking with you that week.
She looked too mature for
too
me.
mature. Too mad.
no, but the thing is, like, we were going on our mission, so it's not that we were I was even looking for anybody or she was with someone already, so it's not that I
was dating somebody else when I went out to mission.
So it's not that it was like, oh, the flash, it's her. Like, I just thought she was really pretty,
and I thought you were a nice guy,
and I'm a really timid guy, so
shy.
So a shy guy, so I didn't thought anything would happen any time close. So but then after, it was funny because the first day of the MTC, when I arrived, the first person I see is Natalia again.
And
she was cool. Going out from the traduction area.
Interpretation. Yeah, then we will go in the Improv MTC at that time. All the foreigners were in the same corner with headphones for interpretation. And so we usually would say hi and cross our path, even though the MTC was pretty big.
Yeah, and that was it. We did exchange few letters. That was
for Christmas, like you get all the addresses of all the missionaries. But he did a cute, when you leave the MTC and you share your journal with all the missionaries that you...
Yeah, like school.
Right. Well,
he did
a really nice, he drew me Christ and with the image with the butterfly, and he wrote me a really nice letter. He gave me candies too with another letter, and there was written all tiny, hope to see you again. So it was really cute.
Bold at that time.
Was really cute. Was really cute, but I honestly didn't think of nothing because I had another person in mind, and so yeah.
Well, what were your thoughts of when sending this?
What was my thought? No, I wanted to be nice.
I like this girl.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice to get to know her a lot better, but I was not thinking anything of marriage, or it was just to be just a nice person.
Did you do that to anyone else?
I did wrote to other people, but
with
that
the candy and the
no,
letter
no,
around.
no, it's true. It's
Because
true.
he put some straw, no, como hilo, how do you say?
String.
String. There was a little box of M&Ms or
Mentos.
Mentos, a tube. He put the letter around, and then he put this straw all around. And
That
I
was
received
to not to
this,
lose the candy.
and I wrote this thing, and I was like, "What is this?" So I mean, there was some thought behind it,
Yeah,
right?
it's true. When I think of it, it's like I did put some more effort on.
Right. I did not receive something like that from anybody.
Yeah.
So
No, and it's true. I didn't did it to anyone else.
That's funny.
But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll fast forward because the mission is a topic for another podcast.
Yeah.
We'll fast forward it to after the mission. How did you guys keep in contact throughout your mission?
Actually, no. So as we said, like we did wrote for Christmas.
Right.
2 cards maybe, one
But
Easter and one Christmas.
Yeah, one Easter and one Christmas. And after, like, we were busy in our mission and we didn't. I remember that was funny. In my first area, I was in Munich and I was walking, and there was a restaurant that was called Ciccio, Ciccio, and it's her family name.
Oh.
So this made me thought to her. So I thought, oh, let's take a picture and send it to her.
Send me the picture.
So, but that was the only few conversation or letters contact that we had.
Yeah, then I came back in 2003 in January, and he came back in August. So during that time, I started studying and dating other guys, and I was pretty intentional in what I was doing. I would set some rules on dating, and one of them was that it was not, if I was not feeling nothing just for one date, we were not going to a second date. That's where my kind of decisions, because there were a lot of guys that wanted to date, but I didn't want to take too much time. I was not too much on dating or getting married. I knew I was going to get married, but it seemed something like, because I was not in love with anybody of those guys, so it seemed I was supposed to get married with one of them, and somehow was going to happen. So it seemed was like a schedule thing. Okay, so I was in that topic, and then one Sunday, I received a little paper from a woman from my church that she had met him at the temple that weekend. So you have to know that the ward, that the church where I was a tiny, in the mountains, in the Alps, and there were not a lot of people.
There was maybe 20 members.
Yeah, in our family we were already 11. So just to tell you, okay.
Yeah.
So he made this sister. She says she's Italian, and he's like, well, you're Italian, like, right? And so, do you know this family? And she's like, yeah, they are in my branch.
Yeah, because you have to know that in my family, we associated Natalia and her family as the Italians. So when we were thinking of Italians, then, it popped up, we know some Italians, and that was
right. And so
Natalia's family.
He wrote me this small paper. I came back from the mission. This is my email address, but it was like a tiny paper.
That was even the half of that.
It was so tiny, and she didn't lose it. And in that Sunday, I sent him an email. I went to check my pictures first, because I say, Alma Pierre Brenders. I remember him, but let's go and check the pictures. So I went to my book of pictures. I said, okay. And so I wrote him an email.
That's the nerd.
I sent him an email, and he answered me back. And so at that time was 2003. We were pretty old. Like, we just barely had a cell phone, and we did chat with Hotmail, with MSN was, and so we did a lot of chat and phone calls. That's how we date, because we were not in the same country, and so we started.
Yeah, that's how we started to get to know each other.
Was in between dating online and being,
the new mythic.
Was because we couldn't, even when we decided when we wanted to see each other again, because I didn't want to lose time with a relationship that I was not sure about, like.
She was really mature.
But we met again at the temple. That was the center place that we met in November, I think
the
was.
Temple?
Yes. That was the only one. But we set an appointment.
Okay.
We fixed the appointment.
This was planned. This was to see
planned.
each other.
Right.
So we planned to see each other there.
Yeah, on my side, I came back from my mission in August of that year, and the most important thing to me was to go back to the temple, and this is where I first met that lady to whom I gave the paper, and then I was surprised they answered me on my little note.
Yeah.
And it's true that really from that start on Sunday we started to exchange and talk, and
I thought he was funny, even though we were communicating in English. The first thing I thought, he was making me laugh, even though we couldn't see each other. And I thought that was really cute, because I'm not somebody that laughs a lot. So
the problem is I make her laugh even when I'm not supposed to, or when I don't even try to. So that's
yeah, that's good though. Because from what I've seen a lot in other couples, the husband tries to make the wife laugh, but it doesn't work.
But that's how it is.
And then she just rolls her eyes because it's not funny to her.
It's true. But I tell him when he's trying, and I'm like,
doesn't
no,
work.
just stop it.
So I just be myself and she laugh.
That's good. So I want to ask you what your reaction was when you opened up your email and she had sent you a message.
I was like, oh yeah. No, I was yeah. That's cool. Let's start to see.
You didn't jump up and down?
No, no, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, no, I was pretty excited. Yeah, I was pretty excited. I could see that the message went through. So I was like, wow, I didn't expected it at all. Yeah, I must say.
Awesome, that's great. So you guys meet at the temple, and then where does it go from there?
It was in November, right?
Yes.
Just that same year that you came back?
2003, and we stayed for a week.
It was 3
days.
3 months after, so it was 3 days. We went there, yeah.
Yeah, something. I was with my sister and brothers. What happened was November. Your parents were there. He came after to visit me right after Christmas, so at the beginning of the year. And we actually were, we could feel this relationship online, like kind of phone chatting we really wanted to keep going. Mm-hmm. And so I invited him to come to my house. And it was a pretty big deal because my family, they're really traditional, like really on some things that if a guy comes to, he likes their daughter, that he has to do, and he comes from a family that's more relaxed, that they're like, just take things as they come. And so for, this was a big thing. He was coming to my house. So, like I have 5 brothers and they were all, they were bothering me. So I also had experience with my sister. She got married while I was on the mission. But I learned things that my brothers were doing to her when she was dating, just dating around the house, going for a walk. They will just bother her like a lot. And so when he was coming in January, I planned just to get out of there. Like I planned to go to the beach. There was like 2 hours from where we lived.
But it's true that at that point when I came in January, it's like we really knew that we wanted to be together.
Right.
That was
like both of you already knew that?
Yes.
Had you talked about it, or you guys just knew?
No, I didn't know. I asked.
Oh,
right. I asked Heavenly Father because I'm really rational. If I don't see, I don't believe. I'm kind of like that.
So the distance
was difficult.
The distance made it hard. But the thing is, like between those 3 months where we were writing emails or chatting until we met at the temple, it's like it was those 3 months. It was like we could see we enjoyed like even speaking at the phone, or we wanted it feel like we wanted more than just having emails or just having chat or just having phone calls. We
it was difficult to be far. I was working. He had a new job for January.
That was not yet. I was looking for.
Well.
What was funny is like when I came back from my mission, I took the job that came. So there's some people who offered me to keep kids. So I was a babysitter.
So when my mom asked me, what does he do? I don't know, babysitter.
So I was making some money like that, but it's true that it became like to me it became real and serious when we could meet at the temple, and it's true that I really remember that temple trip and when we met the first time again.
I did not feel that I knew him or that I knew enough to be able to say, oh, I really want to get married with this guy. I always thought that when that moment would come, I would know, like, wow, he likes his stuff and this and blah, blah, blah. So we have so many things in common. I actually did not know much about him other than we really felt good together. I really wanted to be with him, like always, and do things together and spend time together in a really simple way, because we had that in common. We were pretty simple in what we like, so we were not looking for extravaganza or so even when we got married, and now going back, we didn't even knew each other. We just had the feeling that was good.
That was really the feeling that brought us to this peace. That give you the good feeling.
Because we ask help, and so he just says it's good.
Like a funny experience when we were at that temple and doing the session, like we just met like for real again, and we were seated. I think she was on this side, and I started to have this ear like getting red like crazy, like if it was burning, And I told her like, can we change place, because I feel like my hair is really burning, and so we changed and we continued to talk a little, and this hair started to burn. I was like, wow, I don't know what you're doing to me. That was a sign of
some sort of reaction.
Super. Were you nervous?
Yeah, super nervous. But I remember that night after, like in the same stairway where I did open the door and closed it after we stayed there, and I was showing my mission pictures and telling her some
mission stories
of my mission, and
it was nice.
We kept talking. We were just always talking.
Do you guys consider that your first date?
We had so many hours at the phone and chatting that for me those were dates.
Oh, okay.
I was out of my family. My family knew that I was home, but I was not home. Because my heart was with him. We were really was really intense, and so that's why I really wanted to know if he was the right person. Otherwise I was losing my time, like 3 hours like with somebody at the phone. It's like, that's a lot. But for me, that was so intense. It was like dating with him, really enjoying. And so it was a really good, I really keep a good souvenir of that time. Just dating in another way, not like everybody else.
That's great. And back in 2003, that was probably the best way to communicate.
From 2 different countries, And chat. We'll do chat as well.
Yeah, that was the beginning of internet.
Right.
Awesome. Long distance relationship. That's rough. But when did you guys decide? I guess you're telling me already, but that you're like, we know that this is the one. How did you guys decide, or how did you decide that you were ready to propose and to this is it?
I let you go.
She let me go.
We have to hear from your side too.
Yeah, sure. But I would like him to say it first.
And then she will correct me. No, it was starting to be boring in the sense that it was not enough just speaking. Like, we needed to start to see each other, to spend time really together, right? So she invited me in January to come, and so I came, and I even thought, like, is that going too fast? I was trying to be the good boy, who tried to not to go too fast with.
We went to that picnic that I say to the beach. So the day he arrived like in the evening or afternoon, and then the day after we traveled.
We went all day, on the coast, and we spent that day. But I was wondering, do I hold her hand? Do I try something?
Because then he was going to leave and go back to France. So that was the possibility.
That was the possibility of my life. So at the end of the day, after like having a full day of nothing, I started to. I actually kissed her on that night in Menton, and and that's where I kind of started to tell her that I wanted to see her more often. Mm-hmm. So, but the proposal after there was no proposal. Like, I mean, we started to see each other like every 2 weeks, because I just started my a new job.
And
more serious than a babysitting.
And it was close to Italy. You were closer.
And I was closer to Italy. So we started to, like, one week I would go, and 2 weeks after she would come and be with my family, and so we would do like this. And I think was it the second time you came?
I came in February.
Yeah.
So it was the first time for me to come.
So the first time she came, we actually went out to a young adult activity or something, and we came back from the activity. I did have my little red car. We were inside together, and I stopped in the hallway to go back to home, and I stopped and I told her, I want to get married with you. So that was
up front.
Yeah, that was not a proposal. She had to say yeah.
That's a tricky question, right?
No, I told her, like, I kind of expressed my feelings, saying, yeah, I really would like to spend my life with her.
Yeah. So I was surprised when we had that day at the beach. Then, my plan in my head, because I already knew that he was good for me, for what I felt, I knew that was good, and that's why I wanted to have that moment to be just far away from my brothers, and that they will bother me. And so we enjoyed. We went to a museum. We was really a nice day, and I was thinking, man, we did not, like, he's leaving, and we did not talk about anything more than just nice weather, look at that tree, right? So
having fun,
right. And so I was really thinking, because I had other guys like inviting me, and I really wanted to be engaged with him, or to have that thing to say, no, I'm engaged, it's like, I'm going to get married with this guy that I like. But he was not saying nothing.
Yeah, on my side, I was like, let's not go too fast.
And so we took the car. It was already dark. I remember the sun was going down. We were at the beach, looking the sun going down. And I was like, this day is going to be over with nothing.
We don't want this day to be over.
And so we take the car. He was driving. We take the car. We're leaving, and it's dark, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know what to think, because maybe he just wants to be a friend, I don't know, I really don't know. And so he stopped. So we stop in a really pretty place. During the day, there's like a piece of chateau, like a castle, and there's the sea. And so I said, hey, stop, can we stop here and just go to to see. It was dark, but just to see the water. And so we go up, we park it, we go up, and we stayed there contemplating the dark. And we were there, and I don't know if we were talking, but he just turned and kissed me. Like this, with nothing.
The
like
bad guy.
And he didn't say nothing. He just kissed me. And I was, okay, that was good. But, and then we go back to the car without saying nothing. We go back to the car, and he started driving again. And I'm like, could you explain me what was that? What just happened? So he stopped in the middle of the street. He turned to me and said, you didn't understand? And he kissed me again. And then we go. And we're like, okay, he's not one that speaks a lot, but okay, I got it.
I'm a man of action.
I got it. He's a man of action. And so we arrived home, and we was late. My brothers were waiting. My parents were waiting. And so as we were traveling, I say, you need to talk to my dad. Like, you need to ask for my hand. It's not going to work like that. Like, you really have to talk.
Was it after he said that he wanted to marry you?
Yeah, no, it was after he kissed me, because that was already...
That was the engagement.
That was... that was the engagement ring, like... So I say, because we were discussing that we wanted to, to keep knowing each other and to see if this was going to go further. And I said, well, you need to talk to my dad. And he's like, what do I need to tell him? And he's like,
hello.
You just have to say. He's like, you need to talk to him.
The good thing is, like, his dad was not speaking neither English neither French, so I had her come with me and translate. So I did say whatever, and she said what he wanted to hear.
It's not true. But anyway, now they were really happy. They like him a lot. I was in a relationship with boys that they did not like, and they were actually really happy that I dated him. And then when we say, yeah, it's kind of working well, they were happy.
Yeah. I sound kind of wild, but I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
And he never proposed. It's true. He say, I want to get married with you. And I'm, okay, me too.
Do you?
I don't see anything. Why not?
She say yes.
And you guys exchanged rings when you got married?
Right. We did not have a ring. You made me one.
Yeah. I had prepared something, though, because... and we did it actually at the temple. I did made the ring. I didn't
with some
buy
pearls.
I made the ring.
It was not like a kindergarten thing. It was a little more.
Like macaroni.
It was sort of. No, it was with some nice.
There was some hours behind that thing.
Yeah. Some nice pearls and stuff like that.
Yes. So I had my ring.
Very creative for your gifts and your engagement.
It was really different than...
So I kind of asked her, actually, when I was at the temple, right in front of it.
A week before the wedding.
Like maybe... No, it was... When was that?
A month before getting married.
No.
I don't know. I don't remember.
That was probably after, but not a month.
Yeah, we got married in August then.
We...
when you know that you have the right person next to you, you want to get married as soon as possible. Yeah. We had to wait because we got married in Italy. So we had some papers to wait for documents. So, but we really wanted, if we could have done it earlier, that would have been nicer.
And how did you guys decide on where to move? Where to go after you got married?
Well, that was easy because you were working already in France.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing how everything lined up and how the Heavenly Father worked with us. Because I was looking for a job, and I finally, when I went there, that we, the famous kiss that engaged everything. Right there, I've been receiving a call and saying that they wanted to see me for an interview and start the training even. So right there, I started to work, and that gave us the possibility to prepare for the wedding and to get married. So that was kind of automatic that she would come, and we would live in Grenoble in France. But I was, I was ready to move wherever.
Yeah, I was pretty. It was hard for me at the beginning because I didn't speak French. I was an adult. You're an adult in a country that you don't feel like your country. So I was having a hard time. So he thought at a certain point, oh, maybe we can go to Italy. I can find a job there. And I said, no.
Because I leave everything and we go there.
Yeah, I was better friends. Especially he did all his studies. He was working already. I was like, no, let's just be more patient. And it worked. We could go there often. So it was nice.
And then you ended up here in the States.
Yeah.
Yep.
In some random person's podcast room.
Yeah. Who would have said that, right?
Yep.
It's pretty amazing.
Well, let me ask you guys one last question. I guess what bit of advice would you have for people who are looking to get married or that might be struggling with their marriage? Like, what is something that you guys have seen that just makes your marriage blossom?
You want to start? You want me to start?
Yeah.
I know. I would say it was not easy at all. I mean, I imagine even speaking the same language, it can be difficult, a marriage, because you come from different families, different traditions. There's always that person that express herself more than the other. I remember I would think that he will think the thing that I was thinking. And I was getting mad because he was not doing what I was thinking. Okay. So I feel when we started communicating more, speaking more, for myself, for example, that I would express more my feelings, frustrations, things that sometimes he didn't think of, just because he's different than me. I feel that a lot of things go better because we loved each other. We really loved each other. But communication can be a big obstacle. And as I say, even speaking the same language, you may not understand each other because there are some barriers, some misunderstandings. So I would say that when we decided to always say whatever is bothering us, or the other will be willing to listen and to take it, whatever it was, just I feel that was something that helped us a lot.
And I need to speak. I like to listen to her. Maybe the advice that I would give is like to not to expect the other to do the change, but to start to change yourself and review. And you cannot change others, but you can change your way to do. So if you want the other person to be nicer with you, start to be nicer yourself. And never you need to want to make it work. That's if you don't have the desire to make it work, it's gonna be hard that it does work. But if you really want to make it work, you will do the hard things that will make it work. Speak more, share more feelings and more communications, more patience. Definitively, it's not always. It has not been always easy, even if we loved each other. Like we said before, like we didn't knew each other a lot, actually. Like, you have this good feeling of you want to be together, but after lives came on and kids come up and there's a lot of different things that come in life that make it sometimes harder, and if you forget that you really want that, it can easily break up and everybody go his ways. But if you remember and have this desire to be together and do the effort, it does work.
Yeah, I was going to share that something that happened in our couple is that we start having kids, and that it's part of, it can be the beginning of the end, or it can be really a great experience, but that will trial your love and your relationship, because kids take a lot of yourself, and sometimes you're just exhausted. You're exhausted from work, from the kids don't sleep at night, and you want to throw everything from the window. And I remember, we decided to have dates every Friday night, and that will be in our bedroom, and that will be eating a pizza and watching a movie. And we just decided to do it. We will put the kids early in bed, and even when I was pregnant, we started doing that since I was pregnant from the first kid. Then we realized how good it was, because we couldn't go out because we had small kids. But that was a moment for us. We just, we would try to be pretty. I mean, I was all day in pajamas, so I will try to be a little prettier for that Friday evening.
But even spending time maybe doing music together.
We will do music together. We like to, he plays, I sing. And those were things that were important, just to do something, just the both of us, not just taking care of the kids. Because when we did just that, was not good for our relationship, just taking care of the kids. So that would be something that I will tell to a couple to start having kids. Just keep doing things just for you too, not just for the kids, because it's important. The kids, one day they leave the house, but you are still with that person. So
and you know what is more important for the kids is to know that their parents, they love each other, and so everything fall into the right cases, right? So
yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your bravery.
I will look really bad on the internet.
That's great. Not a lot of men will have the courage to do that kind of stuff. So it's great.
And I really liked him doing that. Finally, I thought it was cute.
No, but before I look at her in her eyes, I was like, no.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for being here and sharing your guys' story.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.